Good morning. Our topic today is the individual and the universal, and that comes from page 151 of this book, Living the Science of Mind, as do all of our topics this year. And if you want to read along, you can find the reading assignments on our website, www.cslsr.org, under the services menu. And there you'll find what we're reading and focusing on for each of our Sunday messages. So this topic, the individual and the universal, I guess another way of saying it is the inseparable oneness of being. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Oh, I guess we could say it like this. God is a name or a term that we use for the one power that produces everything that is. That's what we're talking about. Well, I guess we could say it like this. There is one ultimate source, and everything comes from it. Well, another way of saying it is everything is different and unique, and at the same time, it all comes from the same source, has the same origin, the same heritage. In Living the Science of Mind, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he talks about it in a very direct way, actually quite a delightful way. He says that we personalize the universal when we use it, the way that we use it. For instance, he says, he gives an example. I don't have an individual gravitational force that is holding me down, and neither do you. No. Rather, it's something like this. There is one invisible, mysterious, gravitational force that is everywhere present. And I individualize it, I personalize it by standing here. And you personalize it and individualize it by sitting there. Now, I have some options. I could stand very close to the edge of the stage. Or I could stand a little further back where it's a little safer. And there really isn't a right or a wrong to it. It's just my personal use of this universal force. And our teaching, the science of mind, says that in the same way there is one creative energy, a power, and it's not mine personally, I don't own it, it's not mine particularly, but I do personalize it in the way I use it. I can use it to create harmony. I can use it to create disharmony. I can use it to help society. I can use it to disrupt my family. The options are infinite. I can do what I want with it. And like with gravity, the rules are the same. Stand too close, and you're going down. You know, I was thinking about this with our new board of trustees. We just got elected by the membership to represent the members in the running of the center. And we were at our retreat, we're discussing how to conduct ourselves now that we're elected officials, you know. And we got to talking about such things as social media. Because, you know, how do we show up on social media? Because there's this thing, social media. And really, it's neutral. I'm free to use it in any way I like, to create whatever I like. So we got to talking about the question, well, what are you using it for? What are you bringing into focus in the world? It was a really good conversation, you know. How are you showing up on social media? Because you got some options. Mm-hmm. And while I was thinking about this, Kevin was in the study, and I heard him laugh. And I went over to ask him, what are you laughing at? And he showed me an article he was reading. And, you know, if you don't mind me being judgmental for a moment, he was reading an article that about the state of affairs in our country. It was something so silly and so idiotic that it really triggered me. And I said to him, you should share that. And he said to me, no, that would not lead us toward a world that works for everyone. You see, he had taken Reverend Shannon O'Hurley's workshop, and it affected the way he used social media. It was changing his use of social media and producing different results. See, that's how simple it is. Different use, different results. Not really right or wrong. So again, the topic today is this, that there is one ultimate source and everything comes from it, and I personalize it by the way I use it, and so I've got some options in how I can use it. I definitely have. Now, Suzuki Roshi, there's the Zen monk who helped popularize Zen Buddhism in the United States, and he wrote Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and in it he makes a comment that really is about our topic today. He says, I discovered that it is necessary, absolutely necessary, to believe in nothing. Now, he means that in the sense of no thing. That is, we have to believe in something which has no form and no color. Something which exists before all form and colors appear. But I do not mean voidness. There is something. But that something is something which is always prepared for taking some particular form. Oh, I love that. It really is another way of saying the universal creative power becomes everything that is. And from it, from the oneness of it, we have all the diversity that is. And then in the same quote later on, he says, and this something has got rules. Just like gravity, there are rules. And it's the rules that we're studying on Wednesday night at our Wednesday Night Wisdom free 1-hour class at 7 p.m. that everyone is invited to attend. And the rules have something to do with the way I personally use the power of creative mind. Again, if I stand too close to the edge, or if I stand safely away from the edge, the rules are the same. The results are different. Similarly, if I use the creative power of my mind to do good, or I use it to do nothing, the rules are the same. The results are different. This really brought up some great questions for us in class on Wednesday night. For example, what is the personal use I am making of this universal power up until now? And what personal use of this creative power would I like to make from this moment on? And how does my personal use of the creative power affect life, my life and all life around me? Because, we're in this together, like the beautiful quote we heard this morning, no one breathes alone. I've got another quote. Maybe you'll recognize these words. They've been made quite famous. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together. All things are connected. Now, these words come from the movie Home, 1972, I believe, and the screenwriter, Ted Perry, he wrote a beautiful script about the environment and how we are all interconnected and how our personal use of life affects all of life. And he put these stirring words into a speech for Chief Seattle in the movie. He created these beautiful words. What I love about it is the image of a web. It's so effective. It's an excellent image. The idea that if you tug a web over here, you're going to feel its effect over there. Sure, I'm an individual, but I'm still connected to the universal. Sure, what I do in my life is my business, and I'm still affecting everything, sure. Sure, my creative use is personal up to me, and I'm still connected to everything. It's not either or. It's both and. It's a beautiful mystery. You know, it got me to thinking of my time playing in an orchestra. I used to play in an orchestra. I would play the flute, and from time to time I would get a gig playing piccolo. You know, you don't get to play too many notes when you play the piccolo, you know. It's kind of like the triangle, you know, ding. Oh, but those notes count, right, you know. And one day I got this gig playing. It wasn't even first piccolo, it was second piccolo. Yeah. In Richard Strauss's Four Last Songs. It's a beautiful piece. And the second piccolo's got I think I had 4 notes, you know. Still got paid the same, though, as everybody else. And one of the notes is like right at the end of the piece, you know, soaring above everything. And you've got to hit it just right, because you could ruin everything for everyone. That's how important it is. Now, the thing is, though, as musicians practice and prepare in isolation, if you're practicing your part, beep, it might not make a whole lot of sense in isolation. You know what I mean? It's that when you get together and you show up, that's when it all comes together. And that's when it fits together rather magnificently, and then the web is revealed. Oh, there's a message in that, isn't there? I mean, I can focus too much on my individual use. That's those times when, you know, my life seems meaningless at times. Or I can't make sense of everything right now in this moment. Well, yeah, it's when you and I come together with all the other elements, when you join in with the other players, that's when the web is revealed. That's when the oneness comes out, and that's when our individual parts start to make sense. See, if I focus too much on the individual, I can think I'm living in isolation, and I can forget that the universal connecting part is where the meaning is, because we're in this together. We all matter. All of life is sacred. And if you do feel disconnected, or if you're not making sense of your life, it's not that this is about making it your fault. It's more about the invitation for you to reach out and reconnect to the web, so you can begin to feel the meaning emerge again through all of the ways that are available, through the prayer in the Grinton Chapel, through the grief support that we offer every Sunday, through all of the meditation, all the ways that you can reach out and reconnect, so that even though you're making individual use of the creative mind, you're staying in contact with the bigger picture of your place in the scheme of things. You know, this whole month, the theme is where humanity and divinity meet. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about my time in the orchestra, and I thought maybe the place where humanity and divinity meet is the same place where the music and the instrument meet. Can't have one without the other, and yet they are not the same thing. I guess it's like the relationship between the dancer and the dance, or like the relationship between you and life, or the relationship between your personal use of creative mind and the thing itself. One and the same, but different. Thich Nhat Hanh expressed it beautifully when he stated, and this is good, enlightenment is when a wave realizes it is the ocean. Ooh. You know, we can translate for ourselves. Enlightenment perhaps is when you realize that you are the dance, or when you realize that you are the music, or more specifically, when you and I realize we are the creative power expressing itself in a personal and individual way. One and the same, but different. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote about it quite poetically. He said that so close is this union of creation with the Creator that it is impossible to say where one begins and the other stops. Again, the message today is that there is one creative power. And it's not mine personally, and it's not yours personally, but I do personalize it just like you do by the way I use it. And I can use it in a number of different ways. Apparently, I've got choices. I can use it to bring disharmony into almost any situation. I can. I can use it to bring harmony. I can use it to do good. I can use it to cause mischief. The options are infinite. Wow. That's the beauty of it all. It's all available in the one. Or you could say it something like this. Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it. Isn't that something? Well, if you're looking for disagreement, it's there. If you're looking for cooperation, you will find it eventually. If you're looking for connection, it's available. If you're looking for solitude, also. And none of it is right or wrong. It all comes out of the same fertile soil where potential is infinite. Oh, that's brought up such a good question for our Wednesday night class. So, Edward, what are you looking for now that you know you're going to find it? In our teaching, it says that what you're looking for, we call that your consciousness. That's the lens through which you look at life. It's your theme. It's your filter. It's your awareness. It's your mindset. It's how you use the creative mind of the universe, the lens through which you look. And don't you know, some people have a lens. They have a filter or a theme, such as rushing, hurriedness. And this may make it difficult for them to really experience how much love and connection and intimacy there exists in personal relationships around them, because they may not have the time to smell the roses. And it can even produce anxiety or distractedness. And it's not right or wrong. It's just one of the possible ways to use the infinite mind. Now, other people may, for example, have an awareness, a consciousness that is filled up with worry. And this can make it difficult for a person to notice just how much ordinary goodness there is in life, because it produces a kind of tunnel vision that is characterized by a search for evidence. And it's not right or wrong. It's just one of the possible ways to use the infinite mind in a personalized way. Well, another example, some people might have a consciousness of competition, or that mindset. Well, that makes it difficult for a person to really appreciate what they have in real time, and it might even produce dissatisfaction, characterized by always needing more, characterized by an ongoing comparison to others. And it's not right and it's not wrong. It's just possible. And I learned in Science of Mind, if my mindset, if my lens, if my consciousness, if my theme isn't working for me, Science of Mind says, you and I can change what is in our awareness, and that when we do change what is in our awareness, we can fully expect to experience a different kind of interaction with life, because we will be changing how we personalize the one creative power of the universe. And I also learned that no matter how I may have been personalizing the one creative power up until now, I learned that right now and every day presents a new opportunity to go in a new direction if that is desired. So, for example, I might say to myself, if I realize I've been using my creative power, I might say to myself silently, you know what? I'm going to really get into an attitude of oneness from now on. And so I'm going to start noticing how I'm connected to things, to people, to critters, to plants, to everything. And I expect that to produce in me a warmth and a kindness. Or I might say to myself, you know what? I'm going to get myself a mindset, an attitude of circulation. So I'm going to start looking around for ways to share and to receive. And I'm fully expecting that to produce opportunities and prosperities for me and for others, because that's what I'm bringing alive. That's what I'm sticking to. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm making that my mindset. And you know what? It's more than just a fun exercise for me. It's more than just a little bit of personal enjoyment. No. To me, it's important for me to realize that, yes, I am an individual connected to the whole, and my personal use of the power that runs through really does matter, because that is exactly what is creating society to be the way it is right now. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, thought it very important to remember our oneness and connection to each other. He said quite strongly, the furtherance of evolution depends on our ability to sense a oneness with all life. He said, when the knowledge of this oneness comes alike to all, the tread of armies will cease, and the bugle call will echo the soft notes of familial love. Of course, we must say and remember that oneness does not mean sameness. To live for the ideal of oneness, I don't have to give up my personality. We don't have to give up the variety that life is. I mean, have you noticed? Diversity is the norm. Can't do anything about that. That's the way of things. I mean, consider the mystery of cotton, which produces flannel, chino, denim, velvet, corduroy, and you can make bags, and you can make rugs, and you can make sheets, and you can make towels and washcloths, furniture and underwear and t-shirt and curtains, and all of it starts with the same little ball that grows on the end of a stalk. Oh. It's what we do with it that makes it either good or bad. In its raw state, it's just pure potential. Now, we can do anything with it. We can personalize it any which way we like. Divine life, and our founder, Ernest Holmes, he called it divine mind. In its raw state, is just pure potential. We can do anything with it. We can personalize it any which way we like. We have options. A friend of mine was visiting me from another state. I'm remembering this story from quite a while ago. And we were sitting in the living room, and he noticed I had a piano in the living room, and there was music out because I had been playing. And he said to me, you know, Edward, I have a piano in my living room too, but I don't play it. I never took any lessons. And sitting here looking at your piano with the music, and I realized my piano at home represents the possibility of music. And I realized sitting here that my piano at home is not going to play itself. It's not. It's always going to be there, with or without me. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just my personal non-use of that particular potential. And we got to talking about how that's exactly like divine mind. We all have access to it, so let's make use of it for something new. Why not? And he got so excited about that idea. And then he went home, and I fully expected he was going to go home and take some lessons. And he didn't. Because what he realized is that he didn't really want to play the piano. It was just an idea. The idea of having music in the home. So he bought one of those gadgets that plays the piano for you. But what he did do, he got himself to thinking about all of the infinite possibilities in his life that he had been avoiding or not following and not exploiting. And so he went on to do so many of the things that he had always wanted to do. And some of them he did better than others. But the point is, it was as if he had come back to life because he had changed the filter through which he was looking at his life, and now he was seeing it as a field of potential. Oh. So, how about that unrealized potential in you and in me? Just like a little ball of cotton on the end of a stalk, our divinity perched, ready. What will we do with it? So let's do something with it today. And the way we do something with it is through spiritual mind treatment, which is another way of saying affirmative prayer, and is what we'll be studying on Wednesday night too. So I invite you to breathe in and to exhale, letting your eyes close. To the best of your ability, let go of everything. We do not bring worry and concern and troubles into our prayer. It's just the opposite. We turn away from them for a moment. And even though I speak these words in the first person, I invite you to identify with any part of it that works for you, as if saying the same words in the silence of your mind, adjusting them as you need to. There is one infinite creative power, pure mind, pure intelligence, that is everywhere present, has always been and ever shall be. That's why I call it eternal. It is the ground of all being, and being everywhere, it is where I am, which is why I say that I am made from it, that I live in it. My breathing takes place within it. My thoughts are thought within the mind of the ultimate creator. And this unity that I feel and am articulating right now is not only for me, it's not only about me, it's about all of us. Individual points of intelligence within the one mind. And so right now, I'm using my mind because I'm telling myself it's as if the universe is listening in on what I'm thinking. That's how close it is. And bringing about what it is that I'm thinking. So I'm calling into my awareness some good that I wish to bring forward into my life or into someone else's life. I'm not bringing any worry into this prayer. I'm not trying to explain how it should happen. It might be something as simple as harmonious relationship with my family. It might be something like, I want to celebrate the divinity of this body temple more mindfully. It might be something as excitement to pursue my goals, and so on. Each one of us our own desired good, without interfering without anybody else. And then letting the feeling tone of that come alive in us, as if we're imagining what it might be like. If that was already established, I already have that. Feel joyful. I might say I feel connected. And I'm remembering to use no effort in this prayer. I don't have to push it or hold it or convince the universe. I'm just thinking and remembering that my mind is a center of divine activity within the mind of creation. And so I'm letting it be filled easily and without effort with thoughts of connection and warmth. This does make me feel better already. Joyful indeed. It puts me in a place in my mind and my heart to playfully expect things to change around me according to what I have seen and felt in my mind's eye. And so I release this word of prayer into that aspect of the divine that we call the law. That's the rules, like the gravitational rules. It is a reminder to me to stay effort-free and to go about my work as if it is done. And together we say, and so it is. Again, a breath in, followed by a sigh.